had to make chocolate chip cookie dough. And you might be wondering, why would I need to know how to make it if I can just go to the store and buy it? Well, it's because it's a lot better. So, before I do that, I'm just going to explain to you why I chose chocolate chip cookie dough. And that's because my dad makes it all the time. And he's a youth pastor, so he make it as like a prize to if you win a game, and like all the kids really like that because they think it's really good. And not only does he make really good chocolate chip cookie dough, but the way he used to make it for me really stood out because I don't know if any of you have been to a hibachi grill, like a Japanese restaurant where they cook in front of you. Well, he used to pretend he was the hibachi man, and he would do all these like tricks while he was making the cookie dough. Like for example, I'm not going to do it because that'd be bad, but he would take an egg and spin it really fast, and then take a spatula, and well, it was the sharper spatula than this one, and he would like toss it up into the air and turn the spatula this way so that when the egg came down, it would crack into the bowl. He was pretty talented, so yeah. So I'm going to start showing you how. First, you start out with 2 eggs. Make sure you don't get any eggshells in there. Then you take 3/4 cup of brown sugar, which I already measured it out, so dump it in. And 3/4 cup of white sugar. And then you take a cup of Crisco, which is just basically fat in a can, so it's not good for you, but makes the cookies really good. You take imitation vanilla. It's not real vanilla, but it makes them taste better, I think, and it's cheaper than real vanilla. And you just kind of pour a capful, or a little bit more, however much you want. And then you kind of just take a little pinch of salt. Doesn't have to be this much probably, but my dad never measures anything out. He just kind of puts it in. And then you stir this up before you add the flour. Is anybody lost? Anybody have questions? You have to make sure that the Crisco is kind of hard to stir in, so you have to make sure you get all the chunks.
Where do you get Crisco from?
Crisco?
Yeah, like where do you buy that?
At the store.
Like, is it next to like the oil or something?
No, it's next to the flour and sugar.
Alright.
Okay. After you do that, this is where you add the flour. And you can add anywhere up to 2 cups to 2.5 cups, depending on how runny the mixture is. And this is looking a little bit runny, so I'm just going to put the whole thing in. Okay. And this is the best part where you add the chocolate chips and just pour in as many as you want. And this is the part where my dad would always shoot them into our mouths, and that was the grand finale of his. If you were going to bake the cookies, then you need to add baking soda, then you just put like a palmful in. But since I don't have an oven, we're just going to eat them raw. And if you're scared of salmonella virus, I'll just tell you that I've eaten these since I was like 3 and I've never gotten it. So. I'm attempting to make them as good as my dad, but I'm not promising you anything. If they're really runny and you still need more flour after you mix it up, I wouldn't suggest putting more flour in because it just makes it taste a little bit weird. But if you let it sit, then it'll dry out a little bit. but that's how you need to
Time?